Hello and welcome to another edition of Pro Baseball World Tour. Rick Crabb here in the studio for the RGC Multimedia YouTube channel. And on the line, we have a legend in the making, the latest member of the New York Yankees organization. The organization that brought you Ruth, Maris, Gehrig, DiMancio, Yogi Berra, Reggie Jackson, Derek Jeter, now Eric Marinbach, making his spring training debut. And we got time to actually have him on our show. So, Eric, thanks for joining us. How's spring training hanging for you?
I love that intro. I gotta tell you, today was pretty funny with me actually being on national TV. I think it was either Fox Sports or ESPN was covering the game. I don't know. But then all of a sudden, I'm sitting at the Yankee-Detroit game, which finished in the Kiss Your Sister 5-5 tie.
Right.
And I get two texts within a matter of minutes saying that they shot me on TV. After, I believe it was Willie Castro on Detroit's triple, and they, had him on third base, and they must have, camped that area. And boom, I just happened to be there.
There you go.
The only thing that would embarrass some people, or some people would take comment out of it, was, of course, I was masked, but I was using it for what's the latest term, a chin diaper?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, they got that from South Park. That was a term they used when they made their special episode they made for the pandemic. I didn't see it, but I heard it was really funny. But that was a term that came from that.
Yes, I actually did see it when I DVR'd it. Because I did all three episodes, the pandemic special, and there were two others.
Oh, nice.
And I think I did hear the term chin diaper, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, I'll have to find out. I hope it was ESPN, because that means you might have a shot at knocking Giambi off of there, We'll get you on there, get you and Perez on there, they'll get ESPN to start airing CPBL, and get some Chinese guy to sing "Forget About the Runner, Keep the Ball Down." Yeah, that'd be awesome, but anyway.
Well, what's kind of funny, and I really should get on this, because every once in a while I do call the people on the MLB network, on Sirius XM, just to BS a little. I should get on in the morning when they do the morning show with Steve Phillips and Eduardo Perez. Ask him if he's going to miss waking up at ungodly hours of the morning just to watch KBL and comment on it.
Well, yeah, I'm sure in one hand he won't, but it sounds, what time is that show on anyway? He's kind of getting up, I don't know, I think he's in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. He lives in our time zone, I think, doesn't he?
Yeah, I believe he's still, either in the Tampa area or possibly Miami, I don't know.
Right. Yeah. But no, he was definitely one of my favorite guys on those broadcasts. Him and, of course, Daniel Kim when he appeared on there. But, yeah, that would be awesome. So.
And actually, I've had encounters with his father at spring training where I've actually wanted him to sign, I think it was a bobblehead, maybe a card or something, where I see him during workouts at spring training in Jupiter. He knows that I want his autograph, but he's putting me off.
Right.
As he's switching fields, on the backfield to work out.
Yeah.
And he kept looking at me like, what are you going to do, follow me to the bathroom or something? And he finally takes my other in the place. He was kind of tongue in cheek, but still.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that,
Yeah, it is what it is. I get nice reactions out of people.
Right. Well, you know what the next step is now for you, though. Either the Yankees or maybe the Staten Island Yankees, one of their affiliates, are going to have a bobblehead night now. you do a bobblehead appearance. You know, Eric Marenbach bobblehead. You in the pinstripes. There you go. So.
That's what kind of ticks me off because, okay, last year before they canceled the entire minor league season, the Reading Phillies actually coordinated a bobblehead night with somewhat famous ball hawk, Mr. Zach Campbell. I'm sure you've heard of him through a YouTube channel as a noted ball hawk.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so they actually were going to do a bobblehead of him last year over in Reading. and me with my conceited little mind here saying, wait a minute, you people are going to make a bobblehead of him and give it out to people, but yet myself, who has probably a good 1,000 autographed bobbleheads, never even approached me. How dare you?
Well, I mean, to be fair, though, it is the minor leagues. I mean, it's like last week we were talking about giveaways that the Brooklyn Cyclones have done. I remember one that they did, too. I think they had a bobblehead associated with it, but basically they did a Seinfeld theme tonight, and they actually used as a corporate sponsor the company that George Costanza worked for, the one that kept calling him Coco and all that.
Well, Brooklyn has notoriously been doing that for like 5 years.
Right.
They do a side night with, different characters, bobblehead, and, different guest appearances, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think one year did the Soup Nazi, do a signing over there, I think. The actor who played him, of course.
They actually did, it was on the same night, they did the Soup Nazi and the guy who played Jackie Child.
Oh, no kidding.
And I got the Soup Nazi to sign his and just missed out on the other dude.
Oh, man. Oh.
He was, just leaving his area when I was about to, get in line for a spot. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Well, if you're in line for a bobblehead and you can't get a person to sign it, nobody can, quite frankly. So, but I don't know. I don't know. They should put you in the Hall of Fame for that, though, as far as I know, some Hall of Fames have them for like fan wings and stuff. I mean, you as far as collectors of memorabilia and stuff. I mean, especially with bobbleheads. I don't think anybody has you beaten with the bobbleheads. That's for damn sure.
Oh, absolutely. and speaking of upcoming promos from this year that were actually promos last year, but of course they didn't happen because there were no fans in the stand. By fluke, I got people to get me the Shogo Akiyama bobblehead that's going to be given out to Cincinnati this year.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, just by a shot. I was looking for tickets for the Palm Beach game against, Nationals and Mets.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a starting pitching matchup. Scherzer and DeGrom were the quote-unquote starters. So it was going to be a hard ticket for me to get anyway.
Oh, no shit, yeah.
But what had happened was, it just happened to fall in my list, this family of three. Kind of unattractive, by the way, but I'm not going to go there.
Right.
Just happened to, walk near them, and they were three people, and why did I have this funny feeling that they were stuck with a fourth?
Ah.
So I was like, you guys don't happen to be stuck with an extra ticket? And they're like, well, yeah, we are, but you're probably not going to want to pay our price, for what we got ripped off, paying our thing.
Mm.
I'm like, what did you plan out? Well, we got it through somebody, and we paid $500.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm thinking, okay, you got suckered. I can give you $30 just to get in, and we'll do whatever. So they said fine. Then of course the problem happens that they can't figure out how to get their tickets on their phone. Because they don't even know what ballpark app is. Now, meanwhile, and I'm going to start getting into a little bit of a southern drawl because they're actually from Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, Lordy.
So I don't think that they were quite savvy on the electronic and technology scheme of things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you, Cletus, but here's the deal. I mean, it's Nashville. They don't have Major League Baseball, but they still have, they have the NHL and they have the NFL, so, I mean, they're not exactly the Clampett family, I'm sure, but yeah, it's, actually, they sound like they're my kind of people. They hate the friggin' phone app, too, so.
So it took them a while to figure out, A, how to download the ballpark app in the first place, B, whose email they actually used to purchase the tickets that they would be on the ballpark app.
Right.
And then C, I didn't even want to go through them having to text me the actual barcode, so I just took a picture of it from their phone and then went in with it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
But then it turns out they are three of the nicest people you could ever know, and I start bullshitting with them.
Yeah.
And they claim to be these Reds fans. So light bulb goes off in my head. They says, "How would you like to do me a favor?"
Oh, wow.
And sure enough, I went on my phone and bought 4 Cincinnati Reds tickets for June 12th, which just happens to be Shogo Akiyama bobblehead night, and they're going to go.
Oh, man.
Pick them up and ship them. I'm like, okay.
Wow, they must be nice people because, I mean, Christ, you went up to them, you wanted to pay them $30 for a ticket that they paid $125 for. Then you're like, well, thanks for letting me sit here. Oh, by the way, can you get me a bobblehead when you go to Cincinnati Reds in June? It's like, man. And they're like, yeah, sure. Damn, I gotta hang out with you.
They were just awesome people.
Yeah.
Even if they were unattractive, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh, hey, I mean, you know. Oh, yeah, and then you talk about them on a show that can allegedly go worldwide, even though I think we average maybe like 5 to 10 listeners a week or whatever.
Absolutely. They probably don't even know that we're talking about them behind their backs.
Yeah. Well, whoever you are, folks, if you are listening, you're very nice people, and, you know, don't let Eric push you around anymore. Damn it. Jesus. But that's cool. Oh, that's a cool story, though, man.
Actually, it would be hilarious if they were actually watching today's game and saw me on TV, and they would have been like, hey.
Well, I think we actually decided what the graphic will be for this episode. I saw the picture that's going up there for sure. And I don't know. And I'm sure you can get it off of, well, you already posted it on your YouTube. I was going to say you can just print out some glossy copies of it and take them with you, you know. I don't know, but instead of you to get Manny Ramirez to sign something for me, I'm going to get Manny Ramirez to sign something of yours for me now. So there you go. Oh, man. All right. Well, while we have you here, we're going to go to the other country that you're famous in, the land of Taiwan, Chinese Taipei, for the CPBL. Since they are the only regular season baseball we have going on at the moment. All right, what was your observation of your boys in Taiwan this week?
I tell you what, Truman is really looking good at the start. And, you know, even with this odd schedule of sometimes you're playing 2 games in a day and one team is off, sometimes you're playing 1 game in a day and, you know, 3 teams are off. It's kind of odd to go through, you know, a team with 5 teams in it, not even.
Right.
But, unfortunately, moving up to the big time is not faring well at the moment for the Dragons.
Doesn't look like it.
They actually came in today, I believe, at 1-4, in their 5 games, and I think they lost again today. So,
well,
not
yeah, I'm looking at the standings. So they got them at 2-4. So they either might have, maybe they lost the day, maybe won the day before or something.
they must have won today, and of course, I was busy trying to rehash my Yankee tickets because of the seat relocation. So it was like I was bouncing back and forth between the things and then trying to juggle my Tigers parking situation, so I didn't really pay attention. But the Dragons actually won something.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, we're going to look at the standings right now as of the day that we're recording, which is March 23rd. We have the China Trust Brother Elephants at 5-2, the Fubon Guardians at 4-2, the defending champion Uni Lions at 3-4, the Rocky Tan Monkeys with their backup band and their hot cheerleaders at 2-4, and tied with them, the expansion Weichan Dragons also at 2-4. So I don't know. Last place right now looks like almost like Godzilla versus King Kong fighting each other. So I don't know.
Although actually, that one game where they had the 4-0 shutout, you had a pitcher that in his first quote unquote major league outing, and I don't care what league this is, whether it's U.S. based or any other based, guy struck out his first 11 hitters to begin his professional career. That's pretty damn good.
That's really good. I'm wondering if the team let him keep the baseball, or gave him one of the baseballs or something. I mean, that sounds like an awesome debut for a pitcher.
Yeah. He struck out his first 11, and the game itself was a shutout, but that's kind of a nice way to start off your career.
Yeah, definitely.
You also had a crazy game that happened the other night, one that I just happened to go to. It was Nationals Marlins, where the Nationals actually had a no-hitter going.
Oh, wow.
The Marlins, rather, actually had a no-hitter going through the first 5. However, there's one slight problem. Their next pitcher that they were scheduled to bring in apparently was somebody that I had thought would totally quit baseball. A former National who is apparently now trying to make it with the Marlins. By the name of Gio Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I forgot he's with them now. Yeah, so I remember seeing him in person a few times. Few Nationals games I've gone to, but yeah, oh wow.
So he apparently comes in for the Marlins against the Nationals. And he's wearing his old 47. Now, I'm thinking to myself, not only will the no-hitter be busted, but this team has got to know what he throws due to the length of years that he's actually been with that team.
Yeah, maybe, but although, I don't know, they've had a lot of changes in coaches and personnel since he was there, so, I mean, maybe not.
But sure enough, my prediction came absolutely true. Not only was the no-hitter broken up, but soon after the shutout was broken up, fast forward a little bit to the middle of the inning where he had already given up 5 runs.
Wow.
They take him out, and let some other doofus finish the inning off. But unfortunately, due to the rule that they put in this year where you can have a pitcher re-enter.
Oh, no.
You obviously know what's going to come out of my mouth next.
Gio came in and got blistered for a few more runs, right?
came in the seventh and gave up a couple more, and Mattingly had to come out and embarrass himself again and
oh my God,
take him out again, and of course he yelled out, "Oh, is he coming out for the eighth or what?" And everybody starts laughing.
oh man. At that point, I would have. If I was Mattingly, I would have said, "Okay, you know what? You look like you look like you're hurt. I think you should come out." But Skip, I'm not hurt. Yes, you are. Come on, sit down. There was a joke about that with the Orioles a few years ago with Ubaldo Jimenez, where it was like he was going through a rough patch, and apparently he had injured himself, but he joked and basically said that he was like, that he tripped over a pothole in the parking lot, and some people were joking that it was like wrestling where he got jumped by bad guys or whatever, and he was going to pitch, but, so I don't know, maybe something like that should happen to Gio. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that was a long time ago, because when I saw him, I think it was, he pitched when, I think it was after Frank Robinson left, but I think, what's the guy's name? He coached the Indians, I think, later. It was Manny Apta, I think it was.
Right.
Yeah, he was the second manager of the Nationals, but, because I've seen, there was one year I saw the Nationals 3 times in person. I saw them twice in D.C. and once in Baltimore. 2 of them against the Orioles, and then one, it was a Nats versus the Giants at Nats Park. But, yeah, that's crazy.
The things I see at spring training is just, and that's why it's spring training and the games don't count.
Right. Now, I'm wondering, though, and I don't have any stats, obviously, to back this up, but with what these teams do with pitching, because, it's like the teams don't give a crap. They're trying to see what pitches they need to work on, and, even if they give up like 7 or 8 runs, it's like, okay, well, maybe you need to use your curve, or maybe you need to work on your fastball or whatever. How rare is it? It's rare any time to see a no-hitter in baseball, but how rare is it in spring training because of all that? You know what I mean?
I do remember the Marlins, I think, had a combined no-hitter. Oh, God, I'll have to go back on this, and it's probably on Google somewhere. But they used, I think, 4 or 5 pitchers to no-hit the Astros.
Okay.
So it's a very rare feat, and I think the Yankees have actually done it too.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because, usually most no-hitters, I have seen combined ones like you mentioned. I saw one on TV a long time ago. The Orioles had one against the Oakland A's, and it was like, I think their starter went for 5 or 6 innings, and then they had 4 or 5 pitchers combined for the no-hitter. But usually, most of the no-hitters I've seen is I saw in Philadelphia in person, Kevin Mills would throw a complete game no-hitter against the Giants. And, usually it's like a guy's got a lot of momentum, and, it's kind of like that, it's like a Kevin Costner movie. I forget who it was, but you've probably seen it. It's the one where he's a Detroit Tigers pitcher, and it's like, all of a sudden, it's like late in the season, they're out of the postseason, but their team all of a sudden has, the best game of their careers. They're, making all these diving catches and everything to keep the no-hitter. Usually that's what happens, so it's not just the pitcher, it's the team is, playing lights out too, so, wow, so.
And I'm gonna go on record here to say that there actually has been 39 spring training no-hitters.
Huh.
The last one was actually done on March the 24th, 2017. Now get a load of these people.
Okay.
He provided in it. Bud Norris was the starter.
Ooh.
You then had Jose Alvarez. Bud Norris went 2. Jose Alvarez for 1. Cam Bedrosian for 1.
Damn.
Edgar Bailey for 1. Austin Jonathan Adams for 1. Drew Gagnon for 1. Mr. CPBL Weichuan Dragon.
Mm.
Justin Anderson for 1. And closing, Abel Del Santos.
Jeez,
What the hell was that?
Right.
And the final score was Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim 4, and the split squad of the Seattle Mariners, nothing.
Jeez, Whiz. So obviously, when you said you've had 39 no-hitters in spring training, that includes grapefruit and cactus. So, and that's a cactus game. So.
Yep. And the one by the Yankees was also done in 17. Tanaka actually pitched 4 and a third.
Mm-hmm.
Jason's Tree went 2/3 to finish off the 7th. And then Jordan Montgomery actually went the last 4.
Huh, wow.
It was Yankees 3, Tigers nothing. So
No kidding.
that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's some where you see like 7 or 8 that, oh, here's one that went, how many innings? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pitchers for the Atlanta Braves because it went 10 innings. It was a 2-2 tie, but yet the Braves pitched a no-hitter in that. So the Astros scored 2 runs, but had no hit.
So I guess it got on by walks and then or errors or something. I guess that's the only way that it could happen.
That's what I would guess.
Yeah. Now I meant to ask you this last week, Eric. Just random. I had told you that a friend of mine had had modeled and she was going down to Florida, that kind of thing. She had told me that. I'm sorry. You still haven't heard from her? Oh man. Well, I'm sure there were restraining orders on the way. No, I'm just kidding. But no, she told me she went out. She went out to Arizona and did some modeling out there, and she was surprised because she lives kind of like in northern Delaware, kind of like a short drive, I guess, from Philly. She said that the Phillies actually they're in the Cactus League, which surprised the hell out of me. And it's like, I thought usually they were, it was just East Coast stayed in Florida, West Coast was in Arizona, but that's, even though I know the White Sox and the Cubs are out there too, but basically
Right.
east of the Mississippi, I guess, would stay down in Florida, and then everybody else, go to Arizona. I'm surprised the Phillies are out there though.
I don't even know about that because
Yeah, because I was going to ask if you had seen them this year, because you probably seen every team down there at least once.
And believe it or not, they are actually the only team that I haven't seen. But they're still training in Clearwater.
Okay.
I think maybe she went brain dead. And thought the Phillies were something else that sounded something with a P. I don't know.
Well, yeah, she said that, I don't know, a friend of hers that was out there said he saw them there, though, which was weird. Phillies have pretty distinctive uniforms, so, hey, who knows? But
Definitely did not happen.
Yeah. Okay, I was going to ask you that because I thought that was kind of unusual, but okay. All right. Well, we have some other news found that was interesting. We've been talking the last couple of weeks as far as where we would be able to watch games from the Asian leagues. Saw that Danny Kurtz from mykbo.net, he posted an article about how KBO games could be seen overseas through, how do you pronounce it, Eric? Is it Never, N-E-V-E-R?
I always pronounce it neighbor. If it's pronounced never, I don't know.
Yeah.
As far as
Apparently, unless they change something, when their season starts, it looks like folks will be able to actually see live games outside of Korea through that particular website, which will be interesting. You get to see the live action. I'm curious. I don't know, have you heard anything if they're going to be on Twitch again? Because, I would like to see them live. That would be cool, but I mean, if my work schedule changes between now and then, I wouldn't mind seeing them on the delayed games on Twitch like we did last year. I kind of enjoyed that, actually.
Well, see, here's the thing. These neighbor people seem to get a bump up their ass if they have either too much traffic on their website and or competition. Because there were years where I would have absolutely no problems watching Neighbor, and doing it through my iPad, blowing it up through my Apple TV and yada yada, same as normal.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden, like, in the middle of the season, the people at Neighbor would get an ego trip, and that's when you had to start using your VPNs.
Okay.
So, let's just hope it gets back to normal. The only reason why they blocked everything last year was because of the ESPN thing and the contract with, whatever the hell that thing was, started with an E. Right. And so that's why they had the major bug up their ass and decided to, make everything VPNable.
Mm-hmm. Right. Oh. Yeah, I hope they do too. I'm kind of worried though that since maybe because of last season, they may have a lot of new fans in the U.S. and other countries, and it might blow up Neighbor, and Neighbor might be like, okay, we're cutting you off. So.
Back to blocking you again. Go fuck yourself.
Right.
No, but I mean, you know how I roll. For me, it's always been CPBL first, unless they get rained out, and then I switch over to the different league.
Right.
I'm pretty much that way, no matter what the league is, if there's more people that I know when I'm watching a certain game. Like, if I go to, let's say for argument's sake, MPB, I will swing towards most likely the Oklahoma Bay Stars because of people that I know on the team.
Right.
Last couple of years it's been Tyler Austin, the former Yankee, who I got my friend who is a big baseball Bay Stars fan, turned on to him, and now she's kind of like stalking him.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So she sent me some stuff with Tyler's, including a player towel and a fan club card and this, that, the other thing. It's really cool.
Oh, man. Check you out. Damn. Well, you meet her, and you might wind up being Eskimo Brothers with a Bay Star player now, so geez Liz. Damn, Eric, listen to you. You're joining the Yankees, you're doing radio shows in Taiwan, now you're getting Japanese girls to go into locker rooms to get you Bay Star merch. God damn, man.
Hey, when you gotta flaunt it, bro.
Yeah, you must be flaunting something. Damn. All right.
Yes. And speaking of flaunting, it even gets good when you're doing it at the high school level.
Oh, yeah.
Where you probably saw it over the weekend, and if you didn't, I will pretty much tell the story to everybody here. I am now officially in the Calvary Christian realm of fans, stalkers, etc., to the point where they actually have deemed me, much like the Franklin Square Hitmen, a good luck charm. So I have been given a cap and also been involved in their post-game prayer.
Oh, nice.
The game on Saturday, which is really kind of funny being the only Jewish guy among a whole bunch of Christian kids, even though I still think that Abraham Rosenblum is a Jewish name, but I'm not going to go out on a limb and say, hey, are you Jewish? What?
Right. Well, I was going to say, I thought maybe the Franklin Square Hitmen might have notified the Calgary school about you. So, he's like, hey, he's good luck for us. You might want to get him to, give him a cap, and if you got a bobblehead somewhere, give him that. That and might work out well for you. But
no, it was actually pretty cool the whole day, because they went into this tournament that actually the day before they had beaten the crap out of that academy that basically recruits everybody to Florida, but they're not really like a team per se.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a bunch of recruits, and they're kind of, as I like to put it, overaged college kids that are still in high school and overqualified.
Right.
Called IG Academy, and Calvary basically took them apart by a 12-5 score.
Well, there you
and then
go.
The next day, they go into this tournament that's in Pompano, and they literally, they did mercy rule the first school, Plantation High School, which was all the way down South Florida somewhere, 15-5.
Jeez, it was.
So it got to the point where, and I don't know who advised who on it, but one of the kids' fathers, Johnny Lane, he says to me, "Hey, what are you doing after the game?" I said, "Nothing. Why?" He goes, "You've been watching us for the last couple of weeks, and I know you're going back to New York. How would you like to take a team photo with us?"
Damn.
I think, all right, this is cool. Of course, knowing from my past with the Hitmen.
Right.
And so then I said, you know what? I've been trying to get a cap from you guys, but it's very hard to fit me with the Bruce Bochy size chrome dome that I have. One of the, I guess, team managers or something, like Cowboy or whatever, just happened to have been wearing an adjustable hat.
Oh, man.
So I overextended it to the left notch, and it managed to fit me fine, so they let me keep it.
Nice.
And then I got into the team picture and the team prayer. So I've graduated from the 12U Franklin Square Hitmen to the basically senior version of the Calvary Christian Academy Eagles.
And then today to the New York Yankees. So there you go, man. Go. Man, Disney's going to come out with a movie about that stuff, man. That's awesome.
Oh, believe me, I'm sure I could have at least a few chapters in a book or something.
Right, okay. Be Eric in the outfield instead of Angel in the outfield, That
works.
All right, here you go. All right, well, one thing I had heard earlier today when I was watching, I was watching some spring training this weekend, but I heard this on the radio broadcast, which blew my mind, but it was true. They had the Orioles affiliate had like one of their regular morning or afternoon talk shows, and they interviewed one of the Oriole announcers named Melanie Newman. Now, if you're not familiar with this lady, she actually has an interesting story. She was actually an announcer. She was one of two female announcers for the Salem Red Sox of the Carolina League, which is no longer in existence, at least not the league anyway.
Right.
And she wound up getting a gig as one of the announcers for the Orioles last year. And she made this point where it'll be, even though she did, like half of the games, she would either be on the radio or she would do like the post-game show on TV. She'd like switch back and forth. She said, through all of that, even though it was a shortened season, when they play regular season games, or actually before going to, she's also been doing spring training games now, in the last week or so. up to that point, she had not seen the Orioles, the team that she was covering and giving play-by-play in person until this spring training. That's freaking amazing. I mean, there are a lot of announcers probably for teams that have that now, but I mean, that blew my mind. That just shows how COVID screwed up things. I mean, that's crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you ever saw a picture of her, Eric, if you were an Oriole player, I would think you would want her to see you in person, and vice versa.
Wait, better than Lindsay Sarniak?
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, I said, is she better than Lindsay Sarniak, who used to be somewhere related in the Baltimore chain? I think it was Bowie. She was some sort of promo girl or something.
I'm not sure if I met her or not. Was she also, like, their PA announcer in the stadium? I think I might have met her once, if that's the case. Yeah. Well, yeah, she was attractive, but this lady, put it this way, Eric, you and I are close in age. You remember in Saturday mornings they used to have a live-action superhero show of Shazam and Isis?
Oh, yeah.
She's a spitting image of Joanna Campbell, the actress who played Isis. My goodness.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, she's got the hair, and like when she does the TV post-game shows, sometimes she has it back and has the glasses. I mean, I keep expecting her to say, Orioles lost again 7-3. Okay, I gotta go help them, oh mighty Isis. You know what I mean? Beautiful lady, and very knowledgeable too, although her play-by-play was kind of weird. First few games, she had kind of like a weird cadence, almost like didn't sound like she had like any emotion she was like even keel throughout whether the Orioles struck out or if they hit a home run. Lately, I guess she's worked on it a little bit. Maybe somebody gave her coaching. I mean, she's a much better, in my opinion, she's a much better color commentator because, I mean, she does know her stuff. I mean, she can out Susie Colbert, but, I mean, she's really good. She kind of reminded me of that one lady, the softball player that was in the KBO broadcast, Jen, I forget her name, but reminding me a lot of her, but, I mean, she probably has her beating knowledge as well, so, but her name is Melanie Newman. You can look her up on Facebook, and you'll be glad you did, so.
I may have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah. So.
See, and that's another thing that you'll get used to with the neighbor broadcast coming back. There's a lot of good-looking Korean chicks, doing pre and post.
Oh, yeah. And it was weird because some of the games did that, some of the games didn't. It depended on the network. I think the ones that were done by M as in Mary BC, that, they had, like, the pregame attractive Korean lady, talking before they started. And the other ones, which was, I think, the network that ESPN did, SPO or whatever, they would usually just start off with, they would have their play-by-play and color guy in the booth, and then they would talk to, like, a player or a coach of whoever the home team was, talking to them on the mic, and then they would go to the Korean national anthem, and then they'd start the game, but...
Right.
Yeah. So, but...
I'm all about the hot chicks. I don't care.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Rocky Town Monkeys probably got a lot more gear, Well, you probably had a lot of stuff from theirs anyway, but you probably got even more after that music video, so...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I might have asked you this on one other episode, Eric. When you do travel to Taiwan, which team are you closest to when you stay with your friends or whatever?
The stadium that we are closest to is actually Intercontinental, which is the home of the Elephants.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So that's about a 10-minute car ride from Daniel's apartment, which, his old apartment anyway, because he moved into this brand new facility, which I haven't been to yet. But it's fully completed. I was actually there when it was still under construction, which was kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
And he automatically said, yeah, second floor, yours. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, so now that the second floor is mine, you're going to start, like, decorating it with bobbleheads and all kinds of CPBL CPBL memorabilia. He goes, yeah, then my mother will kick my ass. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, Dave.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, now it's not just limited to CPBL. It'll be your Yankees merch. It'll be your Calvary merch. It'll be your Franklin Square Hitman. It's like, man, you're gonna have, like, I mean, your baseball card's gonna look like an old Topps card where you have like 5 teams, throughout your career, on the back of it and stuff, and all your stats. It's gonna be funny. So,
yeah.
All right. Yeah. Maybe you have to. I don't know. I'll see if I can hunt down Billy Ripken, see if I can get his bat and give you to pose in a baseball card with his bat, if you remember that card. But,
we'll take that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I told you, I actually have a T-shirt with the picture of that card on it. And, yeah. I bought it, and then, it's like, I would just wear it in the stores, and some people wouldn't. It was like, okay, oh, that's cool. It's an old Orioles card. But then there's like a few people. There's like one guy, he was an old timer like us. He said, oh, man, they have that shirt on a card? And it's like, yeah. He said, oh, man, that's funny. And then it's like my one buddy that I go to the minor league games with, I told you has a lot of, cards and memorabilia himself. I went to a game wearing that, and he's like, oh, Jesus, is that the Billy Ripken F-head card? I said, yeah, it is. It's like, I figured if anybody would know about it, just because, whether he's an Oriole fan or not, but he's such a baseball card collector, he would. So, it's like,
of course.
Yeah.
The legendary card.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. And, yeah, and I actually went to a thing where they had a contest for a radio station for people to audition to. It had kind of like an American Idol style competition to join this station, and what they had for the finalists, they had them interview a few players. They had they had like a Ravens player, they had Brian Billick, they had one of the guys from the station, and they had Billy Ripken. And they would give each person like 30 seconds to ask them questions, just to see how they would sound like, hear how they would sound like on the air or whatever. And somebody asked him about that. I was like, oh my God. It's like, I mean, that takes guts because, I mean, he was pretending like he was on the radio with FCC, censorship and all that. And it's like, you'd have to word that very carefully, Eric. It'd be like, all right, so Mr. Ripken, I want to ask you, when I was told that I would be interviewing you, several people were wanting me to ask you about a baseball card you did, and then had to explain, it's like, and I'm sure you're familiar with which card it is. Folks, if you're not familiar, it showed a picture of Bill Ripken posing with a bat with an expletive written on it. And there are different legends as far as how that expletive got on the card. Some people say I had one person say it was like a practice bat that he had, and that's just how he distinguished that he wrote it on there. Other people said it was someone from the card company who was disgruntled and decided to write that on the bat, on the picture or whatever. And, it's like a bunch of crazy stories with it, though. And I forget how he answered it. I think he tried to dodge it. He might have even said in a polite way, next question or something. But yeah. One thing about Bill Ripken that really surprised me, though, Eric, and I think it was just because of the position he played. I think when he was with the Orioles, I think he was mostly like a utility infielder, mostly second base. I was surprised, and I shouldn't have been because Cal is like NBA height. Bill Ripken's a tall dude. I don't know if you've ever met him or not. I thought he'd be like kind of like a small, rangy infielder, like a lot of infielders were in the 70s. I thought he'd be like, like Mark Belanter size or something. No, this dude is like, was 6'8" or something. I mean, he had me by a good 6 inches. I'm 6'2", so I mean, he was. I was looking up the whole time, like he was like the Indian one flew over the cuckoo's nest. I mean, he was a tall guy, but nice guy though. He's very cool. But
yeah, he's definitely not as nice as his brother, though. I mean, Cal is one of the classiest individuals that I've ever had the privilege of being with and being around.
Right.
So there was something about Billy for some reason that rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
Right. Well, I don't know.
Maybe it was just a bad day for Billy at one point.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, and I don't know. Maybe the Yankee hat you're wearing. I'm just kidding. No, he played for several teams though. I think he played for. Let's see. I know he played for Texas and for Cleveland and the Orioles. I'm trying to think if he played for anybody else. Maybe just those three. But yeah. But yeah. I mean, he would be an interesting guest. I know. I've heard him on a lot of shows. I mean, I think he's still on the MLB Network, and I think he was on Fox's broadcast for a while too. But I don't know. Like you say, you probably called him in a bad day. I mean,
it's possible. I always seem to give people benefit of the doubt. I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, you met a lot of different ball players, and it seems like they've been pretty nice to you. At least that's what they look like in the pictures, anyway. But I mean, they wouldn't let you come up, I guess, if they didn't want you to. So good for them. I mean, I don't know. I've heard a lot of stories about Manny Ramirez, but he seemed like he couldn't be any nicer to you. So, that's a good thing. So, I know.
Well, that's like I said. He can be as nice as can be one time, and then, all of a sudden come across a dealer that has that dealer look.
Mm-hmm.
And when that guy asks a guy like Manny for an autograph, even though he's not even playing anymore, he'll just snap at you. So.
Right. Well, unfortunately, I think with a lot of cases, guys like our age or any adult age, usually when players see that they get suspicious, they're like, oh man, okay, this guy's going to want me to sign something, then he's going to sell it in his store or put it on eBay or whatnot. Usually a lot of athletes now, it's kind of like, they see kids coming up to them, they're cool with them, but then when they see adults coming up to them, unless you're basically, I don't know, if you look like the Melanie Newman that I just described earlier, they usually tell you to, go pound sand or whatever. But they tell you, leave me alone. But,
yes.
But, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, that's... Yeah, that happens a lot, so, I don't know. Were there any bad experiences you had, like, as a kid, as far as meeting a player, or really good ones that you had come to mind, or?
Oh, I don't know. It's more good than bad.
Yeah.
I tend to block out any sort of bad memories, just... Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't seem to remember having any really bad experiences, per se. One that I had was really a good experience, and because I was a fan of his as a kid. And it wasn't even at a baseball game. It was they used to have an indoor soccer team here in Baltimore called the Baltimore Blast. And for some reason, like the early 80s, I think it's because the Colts left and they didn't have anything else going on in the winter and they didn't have any basketball or hockey. They really took off. They sold out a lot of games. And one game I went to, I happened to see Eddie Murray walking around. He just went in a suit and all, but, he was freaking Eddie Murray. I mean, everybody knew who he was down there, and, he had distinctive hair and a mustache or whatever. That man, there were so many, he was basically chased out of Baltimore because he said a lot of media gave him grief, especially Ken Rosenthal when he was a local reporter here. But maybe that was a time where I caught him on a good day. And other kids too, because he signed other kids, I think, not just my stuff. But yeah, he was signing autographs, and he couldn't have been any nicer. It was like, and I even got him to sign something. It wasn't even an Oriole merchandise. It was like a painter's cap of that soccer team. He signed the brim of it for me. So I was like, it's just little stuff like that. People remember, and I think everybody who's ever followed sports has like either a good story or a bad story where, sometimes it would be the opposite, where they would catch a player like he's trying to go home or he's at dinner and he doesn't want to sign anything or whatever, and they catch him, in a bad mood, or even if he politely says, no, thank you, I'm with my wife eating dinner, that kind of thing, and then then the fans get all indignant about it. But
right,
yeah, like I said, but I mean, yeah, I felt bad for him when he left, and it's like, and they tried to paint it because he was being mercenary. He wanted to go to like the Dodgers or the Mets or whatever team he went to after that. But it was like, no, dude, you just chased, a guy that helped you win a World Series like 3 or 4 years prior out, and for that reason, it's like, but get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn, get off my stage.
Yeah. Yeah. Get me backstage with Eric, now that he's with the Yankees. He can probably get us more guests now, but anyway.
For sure.
Yeah.
Actually, one other good moment for today was when the opening lineup was doing their stretching right before the game, and former Indian who was actually trying to make the Yankees as a non-roster, Greg Allen, starts, he comes out onto the field during warm-ups, and I'm like, yo, Greg, welcome to the dark side. He turns around, laughing, because I think he remembers me from Indians minor league days.
Oh, jeez, it was.
Yeah, because people are still calling the Yankees the evil empire because we win so much, or we've won the most in league history. So
right.
I guess somebody appreciates it. Welcome to the dark side.
Yeah. I think like the Kevin Costner movie I mentioned is like they were playing the Yankees, and I think they were portrayed as the villains. And it's like in Major League, they I think the main villain that year was I think the Chicago White Sox, because they met again in a ALCS or whatever. But it was like, I don't know, they portrayed the Yankees as kind of like some bad guys too. It's like, okay, I guess jealous because he ain't us, that kind of thing, or whatever, So, yeah. I think I might have mentioned one episode. It was kind of like the year that Reggie Jackson played for the Orioles half season, and then he played for you guys, and then he won. I think that was like his first World Series that he won or whatever. And it's like, I remember he had the Reggie candy bar, if you remember that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I went to a store, and I was like, I asked him to get me that. I said, hell no, I'm not buying you that candy, that traitor, that something. He started going on a cursing rant. It was great. But
oh, no.
I mean, and, I was like a kid. I was still kind of learning sports, but I hadn't gotten the sports rivalry part yet. Because there was another time, I think, might have been that same year or whatever. If you remember back in the day, the old Sears catalog, where they had for some reason they had an exclusive license with the NFL, and it's like they sold knit hats, jackets, those cheap jerseys. They even sold the whole uniform kit where you get the whole helmet, the shoulder pads, and all that. Well, he got me a Baltimore Colts one, I think, a year or two before that. But then it was I was looking at some of the other teams. I was I wanted an Oakland Raiders. And, of course, I didn't put two and two together. The Oakland Raiders had just beaten the Colts a few weeks before that in a game that they called Ghost of the Post. It was a playoff game that they knocked the Colts out of. And my dad was like, hell no, I'm not buying you Oakland stuff. Get out of here, So, my mom, though, on the other hand, she didn't care. She would go to a Sears outlet that would have stuff of other teams, and she would get me all kinds of stuff. Even teams I didn't ask for it, but it was still cool to have, I guess, so.
Or it was just on sale.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, no, that store basically got the stuff. They're kind of I don't know, Foreman Mills or a store like that where they got this stuff that these stores tried to sell, they couldn't, so then it was a discount store that they, but in this case it was Sears outlets. I guess it was other teams that didn't sell at the Baltimore area Sears stores, so they sold them there. Actually, one thing she got me, it was cool. I wish I had it, but there's no way it would fit me now anyway. She actually got me a satin Mets jacket. It was actually pretty cool. It was the chest part was blue and the arms were orange, and it had that logo with the bridge in the city skyline and all that. It was a sweet jacket. I think I might even have a few pictures of me in it. I think he took a picture of me wearing it with my arm around R2-D2, I think, once at a convention or something. But anyway, well, there's that. So.
I always love stories like that.
What's that?
I said I always love stories like that.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. All right, well, Eric, is there anything else you would like to add from your adventures in spring training? I don't know, when you're going to be signing when you come back to New York. Folks, autograph line starts at the left. Still keep your social distancing, though, and one item per customer.
Even if I wear my mask as a chin strap or chin diaper, every now and then. But once the regular season starts April 1st, I'll be at Yankee Stadium, and I will probably wind up wearing the chin diaper solely on my face just to keep the peace.
There you go. Well, that might be a future promotion. Eric Marenbach Chin Diaper Night. There you go. So,
Yeah, no.
All right, cool. All right, folks. Well, listen, thanks again for listening. We'll talk to you again next week.